Coming to you direct from deep underneath your favorite Japanese wrestling arena, it's time for your high-speedy, strongly styled, fighting spirited, secret handshaking, wink wink nudge nudge, lethal dose of female professional wrestling, primarily in the land of shoguns and rising suns. It's time for you to remove your blindfold, accept a complimentary fruity drink that's totally not sus at all, and learn from our inside terminology, because you, our friends, have nearly willfully accepted the invite and have joined our Cult of Joshi. Now allow me to introduce you to your fighting spirited guides, Raja and John.
Hello and welcome back to the Cult of Joshi. I'm your host Raja, and I'm joined, as always, by my wonderful co-host John.
Hello.
And here we are back again to talk about a jam-packed week of women's wrestling and a very emotional week in the world of Joshi.
More emotional than I thought it was going to be.
I know. Like we talked on our last show about the changes that were coming, and I guess we just were not prepared.
Kind of jammed it in on us on that one.
We were not prepared for the level of emotion that we were going to experience.
Sometimes you just expect a house show and
it's a good night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually that's how it goes, but not this week. It did not go that way. But before we head to the wonderful land of Japan, there were other things that happened that we just have to talk about. I'm sorry. It just has to happen, including Dynasty, which featured two very wonderful women's wrestling matches.
Yes, it did.
Julia versus Mercedes Moné in the opening round of the women's Owen Hart tournament. It seems like very
so
difficult
hard to say, right?
For people to get across. I think it's because they had the cup in there at one point because it was just for the cup, but now it's a tournament for a championship shot, so they've kind of changed it.
Right, yeah.
And everyone's confused.
It was difficult to say. It's always like, I am going for the Owen.
Just call it the Owen.
Yeah.
The Owen Hart Cup tournament, women's division version. Yes.
Yes.
But the Owen, yes. Julia and Mercedes, I thought this was even better than their first match that they had for the TBS title. It was amazingly done. The crowd was heavy behind Julia there in the late running. They wanted Julia to win.
Well, it was a nasty Philly crowd. I mean,
the Philly crowd was fun. Okay.
No. I mean nasty as in, they would take pride in that.
Right.
We've been in that arena.
Yes, we were in Leocora Center last year.
A year ago, like today,
Philly.
I think.
Yeah, it was around this time last year.
Yeah, absolutely, because it was big Stardom in there.
Yeah. We had a Super Card of Honor in the Leocora Center last year.
Good stuff. But no, this match was great. It was exactly, what I expected it to be, honestly.
Yeah, me too. Mercedes won.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we expected to happen. But as far as Mercedes goes, we had some more news come out about her that does include Joshi. New Japan in America have their shows coming up recently. They're almost there. But Mina will be facing Azumi at Windy City Riot this weekend, April 11th.
Yes.
For a chance to face Mercedes Moné on May 9th at Resurgence for the NJPW Strong Women's Championship.
And that Resurgence card is straight fire.
Yeah, stacking it like crazy.
It looks really, really hot, man. It looks really good. And, they've been talking about wanting to bring the true essence of New Japan to America on this card.
Yeah.
So Goto made a big deal about talking about that. He's like, I wanted to feel New
and
Japan.
They've really been trying to make it feel that way because it's the most New Japan card that we've seen.
It makes me so mad for some of the first ones in America.
There have been some questionable New Japan cards.
I know we went to one.
One of the first ones when they first started doing this whole thing.
I think we went to the first one.
We might have, yeah.
That was in America.
It was sad.
And it was very sad. It was
we had Great O'Khan, but when he was a young lion.
It was Great O'Khan's debut as Great O'Khan.
Yeah. It was right out the gate O'Khan.
That was the only cool thing on the card.
There were barely any New Japan stars. It was mostly LA Dojo guys.
Oh, yeah, and Ring of Honor.
Yeah, Ring of Honor. It was really crazy. They have really started to step up their game, though.
Yeah.
And they're trying to bring more of that. And I think that the American fans have shown that they want that. They want more actual New Japan stars in America.
What I appreciate about it is the last few years of all the American stuff they've been doing, a lot of these guys have coming out now, like Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight making huge splashes in AEW.
Yes.
And they've had time to really cook,
Yeah.
without being seen.
Right.
There's a fan base.
Yes.
But let's not get it twisted. There's not many people that's been watching.
The majority of American fans.
New Japan America.
Right.
The new NJPW strong, if you will. If you will.
Yeah, it was just kind of there, a little hidden gem by itself. But New Japan has been stepping it up, especially with this Best of Super Juniors lineup this year. Looks crazy cool.
Yeah, and before we talk about the next match on the card from Dynasty, I want to say a very heartfelt, thank you to everybody out there that was, reaching out to me saying, "Hey man, are you flooded? Are you good? Are you good?" Yeah, we're totally good.
Yeah.
Kentucky, not so much.
No.
Kentucky's very flooded. So I've had quite a few people reach out and ask. Yes, we are on a hill.
Yeah, somehow we survived.
We're good. We're watching everybody else float by.
Yeah,
but we're good. Lots of flooding, so thoughts and prayers out to everybody that was affected by the flooding. Any Joshi fans?
Yeah, and those crazy tornadoes a week ago.
Any Billy Starks fans? Because Louisville, even the bridge went underwater a little bit.
Oh my goodness, it's scary out there.
Yeah, man.
This weather.
It is scary. But on to the real match.
Oh my gosh. Okay. For the AEW Women's World Championship, Timeless Toni Storm defending her championship against the Megasis, Megan Bayne, which I thought the way they did this match was just masterful. It was an amazing story in my mind. First of all, Toni coming out in the Rocky-inspired entrance and the gear, very boxing look. I love that. But it also told the story of Megan Bayne is a monster. Mm-hmm. And she's going to act like a monster, and you're not going to be able to beat her easily.
No.
And that came across perfectly in the way that she kicked out at 1 after 3 hip attacks and a Storm Zero.
Yeah. I
what?
honest to God, I thought right then, if we don't get another immediate Storm Zero and do the Japanese finish, obviously, that because the Japanese finish, kinda, you would do your finish, they kick out a 1, boom, 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 a little this, a little that, and then finish again. It's over.
Yeah.
Well, when you didn't get that,
we were a little worried for a second.
I'm like, are we going new era?
All of a sudden.
Is there an injury we don't know about? Is there something going? Megan Bayne's going to win this title,
right? But what's the best way to take down a monster when they're unbeatable?
Yeah.
You could tuck them into a small package and you get the 3 count.
And is my memory serving me correct? Has Toni Storm not won 2 major pay-per-view matches in the past year with a small package?
I think so. I think she's won twice with the roll-up in recent months.
Yeah.
But if it works, it works.
No, I think it's funny. I think that maybe she becomes like the king of the small package. I want the small package to be her finishing move.
That would be hilarious.
And the shock win as a pile driver.
Yeah, it's really difficult to get out of. And I think someone with Megan's size, it's even more difficult when you're all cramped up in there to kick out of that. And she was obviously shocked that she lost the match because she was fine. She wasn't beat down or anything, but I just think it was a really clever way to show Megan's power.
It makes me laugh because of the ups and downs with Simon. How he's always, for years and years and years, had the most devastating move in professional wrestling being a small package.
Yes.
Because it's used so much. And probably, honest to God, the slip over has to be.
I think it's just the roll-up is the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment.
Right. I would imagine that the slip over definitely has won more matches than anything else.
Probably. I mean,
you
don't see it coming. It's a surprise, and you're shocked. Suddenly, you've been pinned.
It's the easy way out. And it's a way realistically, it's the way to keep somebody strong when you don't want to bury him. And this match did not bury. This match accentuated, as you were saying, everything good about Megan Bayne.
Yeah, and Toni was in desperation mode most of the match. Her facials were wonderful. She was just in trouble the whole time.
Yeah, and you still felt like she would be in trouble if she ever met Megan again.
Yeah, I don't think she wants that.
If they wrestle 10 times, 9 times Megan's going to win.
Yeah, And it didn't help that Penelope was there for most of the match, causing trouble, even though Luther took her out of commission halfway through.
Right. Looks like he struggled a bit, but yes.
He did. Yeah, she did not go quietly.
Yes.
But Toni Storm is still the AEW Women's World Champion, which makes you think, I mean, she's on target to be the one to defend at All In. It's a long time still till All In, so we don't know for sure.
We still have the big boy coming up right before the bigger boy.
Yeah, so anything can happen before then.
Arizona's going to be a huge pay-per-view because it's the pay-per-view normally.
Yeah, usually it is, but All In has kind of become this all-encompassing thing of its own.
I think where they're already pushing that, and the way things are going right now, everything's up in the air. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of story.
Oh, yeah, I think this pay-per-view was kind of like, it's like the last pay-per-view, Revolution, was like the end of a big storyline push, and this one was kind of just now starting us off on this huge run to All In. So this one was weird on paper going into it, but it was a lot of fun to watch.
It had some incredible matches. And
absolutely. Even the pre-show had incredible matches.
Yeah, that's the whole crazy thing about it, is just not expecting, because I like it better when I'm not super excited about the card, because it doesn't let me down.
Yeah.
I was like, God, this thing's not had a good build.
Yeah, like, what are these matches?
What are these matches? It's there's people out. There's all these things.
There's 3 Owen Hart tournament matches on the pay-per-view.
That rando get added at the last second. And I wasn't, I don't mind matches that have no heat if there's not something like a tournament match.
Right, yeah, they have a reason to be going on.
Makes sense, kind of.
And then you have Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe, and you just forget everything that you were worried about.
Yeah, because they have nothing but... I would like to have a videotape, because I'm old. I'm just going to say videotape.
Yeah.
I want a best of them, wrestling. I think they've had like 4 or 5 matches.
We saw one of them live at GalaxyCon.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
They've had like 4 or 5 matches, and they've all been bangers.
Yeah, they work really well together.
They really do.
But I'll tell you, my match of the night has to be the 3-way for the International Championship, just because I don't know what it is. Kenny Omega has long been the guy in my head. Like, he's the reason that I fell in love with professional wrestling. So that match just left me in awe afterward.
I really enjoyed the Karate Kid kick.
The crane kick where he's like struggling to stand.
Because there was a reason for it. There was a reason for it. It was a fun match, and I think that it was so different from the other matches.
It was so long, but it was like the story they told was incredible. It was just great.
And we talked about the Kenny Omega arc, because Kenny, coming back from injury, obviously can't do the Kenny Okada from, years ago. But his storytelling is just changed. It has. And it's still really, really good. It's just a different kind of character. Mm-hmm. And I'm here for it.
Yes,
it's good.
And he does the old favorites, but you can tell it's like not Kenny Omega from 5 years ago that's in the ring anymore. But we also got that little tease and then the little Rainmaker coming out after the match.
Yeah, I think that's more than a tease.
Yes, it is. But that Omega Okada, you just mention it and people lose their freaking mind.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
Man.
It's gonna be all right. So back to the reason we're here, baby.
Back to the reason we're here.
It says women on the poster.
Yes, we're here to talk about Joshi, and that is what we're going to do. We just wanted to mention those things because, we love all wrestling in this house. We watch so much wrestling that it's kind of hilarious how much wrestling we watch. But this show, we know you guys want to hear the goods about Japanese women's wrestling, right? So we had a lot of fun this week watching some fun stuff.
Yes.
We watched a ChocoPro show. They had their Warring Era show in Itabashi on the 31st. They put it up on YouTube. So if you've been wanting to watch some ChocoPro, it's on YouTube. It's just free. So just go on there and watch it.
It's a lot of fun.
But they had some really fun matches on there. I really enjoyed it a lot. Like, the opening 8-man was really fun. The singles match between Soy and Mia Yatsuba was amazing.
Yes.
They are both so hard hitting, and then their hug at the end, I don't know. It was just such a vibe.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoyed it so much. And they had a great little main event between Mei Suruga and Chie Kushikawa. It was just really good.
Yeah, Mei Suruga is just on another level anyway.
She is. And they ended off the show with Emi Sakura, who is just amazing at what she does. She starts off this long speech. She starts getting emotional. Of course, she talks about Masahiro Takanashi, who is her very good friend who was injured 10 days before this show. So she's still feeling the waves of that. She used that to talk about, what does it take, the strength to be a champion, that kind of thing. And she's kind of framing it in a way that's like, she talks about her career, how long she's been doing it. It's like, is she about to retire right now? But then she uses that to then challenge Mei Suruga for the Super Asia Championship, and then goes on to like berate everyone on the roster and tell them what they've all done wrong and why they're not getting where they need to be.
She's like, that felt good.
Oh, it was so funny. I love Emi Sakura.
Me
She
too.
is the queen. She's your highness.
Me too.
ChocoPro's such a vibe.
It is. In 30 years, she's just getting started.
Yes, she is, honestly. Like, there's no stopping Emi Sakura. But it was a really fun show, and I think ChocoPro's totally worth checking out if you just want more Joshi to watch, because it's fun. It's just fun loving, and you need that in your life.
And it's a different, like you said, it's a different vibe.
Yes.
And normally, when they're in the facility, it's just fun.
Yes. Normally, you will see them ringless, so be prepared for that. If you're looking, you've never seen ChocoPro before, they don't normally wrestle in a ring. Mm-hmm. They just wrestle in a room with padding on the floor, but it's still amazingly fun.
It's awesome, and when you let yourself go and just get into it.
Yeah, it's just great.
It normally threads together.
And it really, like, when you're watching Joshi, when you go through these different waves of things, it's like, we're going to watch some really serious Stardom action. We're going to watch some crazy hard-hitting Sendai girls. Now we're going to watch some fun ChocoPro. It's just, sometimes you just need different things, different walks.
Yeah, and a couple of weeks ago, we were in that place. Like, we needed to hit the reset.
I think Top of Joshi was that reset.
Yeah, and I think we got to Top of Joshi. And then we went looking a few different places, and I think it works. It does.
It does. Joshi has something for everyone.
It does.
Okay, if you love Japanese women's wrestling, but you don't necessarily like a certain promotion, go looking. There are other promotions, a lot of them, and there's something that you will enjoy. I promise. We also watched the April 3rd Sendai Girls show, which featured a fun singles match between Yuna and Eureka Oka, the rematch between Shinhiro Tasakura and Zones, which is always a good time. There was a 6-man that I really enjoyed, Vinny, Ryo Mizunami, and Dash Chisako versus Yura Suzuki, Miyuki Takase, and Miki Iwata. That was a very great match, but I just love these teams. I love Yura Suzuki with Red Energy. She just seems to fit in their little universe.
Yeah.
But then we had Team 200 kg, Yu and Chihiro Hashimoto, taking on Minami and Aya Sakura, who are an interesting team that I wasn't expecting. But after the Team 200 kg win, Maika came out to the ring to challenge Chihiro Hashimoto to that singles match they've been talking about. But not just any match anywhere. She wants the match at Grand Queendom in Yokohama Arena.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Big hash.
Yeah.
At Grand Queendom, sign me up.
Oh, yeah.
Especially against Maika.
I mean, listen, Grand Queendom was already...
Oh my God, it's so stacked.
Stacked. I mean, properly stacked.
Properly stacked, yes.
And this is just another one of those that just
added on the pile.
Ton of a dream match here. And, I love some of the vibes going on right now with some of the warring factions.
I know, it's so cool. I love the way that they've got everything interwoven. It's just, it's so much fun. You never know what's going to happen next. But the main event on this show, it was kind of a weird match. Is not really necessary in my opinion, but Minoru Suzuki versus Meiko Satomura. Of course, Meiko's been fighting everyone that she possibly can.
Yeah, she's like fighting cooks and like,
she's just going for it.
It's almost funny. It's like anybody who's ever known her, it's like showing up right now. And Meiko, I want singles match.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it is. But I did want to mention this match because Meiko Satomura will be facing Takumi Iroha on the April 10th Marvelous show for the final time. And I needed to mention that because Meiko Satomura and Takumi Iroha is a match that is unmissable.
My God.
The two students of Chigusa Nagayo from different eras, essentially, both super intense in the ring and scary as heck. So
Absolutely.
That's a match that people need to go out of their way to
any
find.
Takumi Iroha match.
Honestly, if Takumi is on the card, it's worth watching.
It's about the way I'm feeling about Sanka, but I mean...
Sanka, who's brand new still, but she's just amazing.
She has that same vibe. I mean...
I know.
It's just that killer vibe, as we talked about on the last show. And
yes, and Marvelous is actually quite easy to find. They stream all of their shows on Zyko, which is very easy to use. So if you go to the Marvelous Twitter and find one of the Zyko links, you'll get to the website. It's just easy to buy and watch.
And we're going to be watching a lot of it coming up.
Yes,
so
yes. We're going to sink into the Marvelous.
Yeah. Because there's a lot going on.
There is.
It's just matches.
With this whole Marigold stuff and whatnot.
Dude, it's that time of year, kind of.
Yeah.
Where there's just so much just coming at you. And
I know. It's this April time is weird.
You got to kind of pick and choose of not really full shows as much as which match do we need to see, you know?
Right. And I'm glad I mentioned Marigold because there is something that happened on Marigold on their April 5th show. We haven't been able to watch the 5th and 6th yet because they weren't streamed live, so we haven't got a chance to watch the full show, but we did see a certain someone show up on the April 5th show in Kyoto, Jungle Kyona, making an appearance to see Nanai Takahashi, and they will be having a 5-minute exhibition match on Nanai's retirement road on April 27th. So that's really cool.
Everybody's
Jungle
wanting
Kyona
to
back in the ring.
properly graduate.
Yes,
so.
It seems like it. Everyone's coming out of the woodwork when these legends announce they're going to retire, and having Nanai and Meiko retiring fairly close to each other, it's just been one dream match after another, all over the place.
I hate it with Nanai, man. I hate it with both of them.
Yeah.
But Nanai's really been on a roll with the girls in Marigold. So.
She has, yeah. And I imagine she'll still be there in a training capacity and that sort of stuff, but I'm going to miss the passion injection matches.
I am too.
They're so much fun. Nanai just knows how to bring it out of people, and I need that in my life.
I think Sanka can take it up.
Sanka starts doing the passion injection match.
Her 1 year in.
Do you think Nanai will pass it on? It's now you're in charge of injecting the passion to somebody?
I'm not sure it's one of those things you can pass on.
I guess not.
I think it's going to have to be one of those deals where
someone just is right for it at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Marigold does have some big shows coming up later in April. They're on their Spring Victory Series tour right now, so they have a lot of shows going on, but we will talk more about their big stuff when it gets closer.
There was an interesting interview that I seen this past week, just a snippet from it. Mm-hmm. But Starlight Kid was talking, and she actually said that she was originally going to go to Marigold.
That was the rumor when everything was going down.
It was, but you've heard that. I think it was Rossi himself said that the girls encouraged me to start to to Fed.
They all said it was a great idea,
and
we'll all come with you.
I wonder what happened
it's hard to say.
Change that.
They never let anything out of the backstage from over there, so we'll never know what happened.
No, I mean, and listen, I'm really glad the way things worked out.
Me too.
Because, look at Stardom now. My God. And everybody seems happy and everything's going great. And honestly, Marigold has got its feet under themselves.
Yeah, they're starting to find their way.
Yeah, those girls have had a chance to go in there and go through hell. Mm-hmm. And really get themselves up to being, decent workers.
Yeah, and they're starting to build up those stories, those rivalries.
Yeah,
I can't say that very well.
I think it's better than starting off with a bunch of people who you already know.
Yeah, just basically being a mini Stardom, essentially.
Right.
They're going to be their own thing.
Have your own identity.
They're really building it up. Mm-hmm. It's really cool to see. And I also saw, you showed me the nicest picture of Megaton and Gigaton the other day. That just made my entire week. Dude, because they're amazing.
Dude, that's our spirit animals.
They're so good.
So amazing.
But shall we talk about some Stardom?
Speaking of animals.
Oh.
And we'll talk about Stardom.
Okay.
So, speaking of news and animals.
Okay.
What the hell is going on in the world?
I ask myself that every day.
So I try to avoid as much crazy as I can.
It's unavoidable.
I've spent a life involved with crazy.
Right.
But sometimes it just slaps you in the face like a direwolf.
Uh-huh. Like a direwolf would if it could get its paws on you.
They've made direwolves again.
Why would they want that?
They Jurassic Parked some direwolves.
Aren't they huge? Like, I don't know if they're
not
the
small.
Game of Thrones ones are like true to real world direwolves.
I don't know if they get that big or not. Honestly, I can't tell you. This is all fresh off the press kind of thing that I'm seeing hit everywhere. At first,
Right.
I ignored it because, listen, my feed is,
Yours of anyone.
it's like Yeti. There was a Yeti sighting through a McDonald's drive-thru. He ordered McNuggets, and
he would.
But this was hitting me from actual news sites, and I'm like, oh god.
Do they actually have the direwolves in hand, like the puppies?
Oh yeah, three, and they named them all.
Did they I guess they had to use an actual wolf to inseminate
Remus,
them?
Romulus, and
Khaleesi, I think you said was the
Khaleesi.
third one.
Yeah,
wonderful names actually
the
for
first
wolves.
two are great.
Well, yeah, because those are the names.
The Khaleesi, I was kind of like, you got Remus and Romulus, and
you couldn't find a better name from Game of Thrones.
no, I was thinking like Remus, Romulus, and maybe
something else Roman.
Well, or something else Harry Potter.
Oh, Remus is Harry Potter. You're right.
I was thinking the female.
You could do Sirius
Bellatrix.
or Bellatrix would be a cute name.
Wouldn't
for
that be in the
wolf.
family? Wouldn't it like Remus, Romulus?
Remus is Remus Lupin. He's not in the black family. Sirius is the black.
Oh,
You're getting your characters all mixed up.
Oh,
Because he's a werewolf.
Yeah.
Remus is a werewolf.
Well,
but Remus and Romulus are the Roman twins.
Yeah, I know, but I'm having more fun. Bellatrix would have been a great name.
It would have been, yes. They could have been more creative, I think. But
crazy wolf.
they could have named all three of them after just the direwolves from Game of Thrones, I think. And it would have been fine. People would have got it.
I agree. I agree.
Scientists, they're not the smartest. They're often baffled, so.
The scientists are baffled. All right.
So, let's talk about some Stardom.
Yes.
Because we're a little behind on the Korakuen Hall news here because we had to wait until the next show. We had to wait until after Dynasty, and then Anjo happened. So Korakuen Hall's just been waiting for us to talk about for 5 days.
Yeah.
And it's been crazy.
And that's a long time for us.
It is, because this was a fairly big card come off of all the craziness that's been happening.
Other shows might cover shows 2 weeks after they happen, but not us.
Right. Not us. We're very punctual.
That was as close as I come to throwing mud at anyone. So
we try to be punctual. I know at one point we were not, but I think we've been on a good roll lately.
I think we're on a great roll.
We've been really good about every week.
Summer roll.
Yeah, it's been fun. I'm enjoying myself. Are you?
Always.
Are you guys out there? So, Stardom Nighter in Korakuen Hall from April 2nd. We kick off the night with a triple threat: Ane Kanaya versus Yuna Mizumori versus Fukigen Death. And this is your typical zero match opener. A little high speed, little young girls in there. Yuna Mizumori doing her thing. But who is the master of the triple threat?
Oh, well, Fukigen Death.
Fukigen Death.
Yeah.
Who won this triple threat? Of course, with an O'Connor roll, because there's no getting around Fukigen Death in this situation.
She really reminds me of some girl that's been on the recent New Blood shows, though.
Right? Like the similar hairstyle, similar mannerisms.
Yeah, similar
same height.
Yeah.
They could be like long lost evil and good twins.
They could be. But it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. Winner that I thought it would be.
Yes, you kind of see this one coming sometimes. Then we had a 6-man match: Rina, Tekla, and Konami versus Rion, Hanako, and Waka Tsukiyama. So this was your typical hate versus anyone match. The younger bit of EXV here with Waka trying their best to get one over on hate, but it did not happen. Tekla used the Poison Spider Death Drop to get the win in this match. But interestingly, Micah made a little challenge after the match. She was on the ringside, watching her girls, and Tekla was being Tekla. So Micah was like, I'm sick of your crap. You're just been running around trying to run things. You're asking for a match with President Okada like a crazy person. How about you fight me instead? So Tekla was like, okay, let's do it in Vegas. So we're going to get Micah versus Tekla during WrestleMania week in a singles match. Hopefully that dissuades Tekla from trying to fight the president.
Yes. Hopefully that
if she loses.
That happens. Let me step back minus one match here. So Anna Kanaya.
Ane Kanaya.
Yes. I'll get it right in about a year.
Just say Ane.
Ane.
We know who you're talking about.
So Ane is one of those that is coming out special.
Yes.
She came out at the oven with the je ne sais quoi that it takes to be a star.
Right.
And sometimes people are a little bit nervous. Sometimes people don't have timing.
Right.
You know, she could still lay in a little bit more, but she's not terrible at it. It's just, I really like seeing the connection with the crowd already.
Yeah.
And I know
people seem to really love her.
Yeah, man. She's got the colors. She's smiling. She's doing the thing. She's so Stardom.
Yes. And she actually gets like really close to finishing matches a lot of the time.
Yeah. Just thought I'd throw that out there. A little bit of Ane love.
We do love Ane Kanaya. She's one, like, of this class, her and Akira and Yuria, they're all really, really good.
she's not the best addition to Stardom in the past year. That one's on the shelf right now. But
yes, so we miss you, Matoi. I wish she would come back.
Just saying. She was so good. All right.
She is so good.
Yes.
No past tense. She is good. She'll be back soon, I'm sure.
Right.
Following that six-man, we had yet another six-man. Akira Kuragane, Aya Sakura, and Sayaka Kurara versus Yuria Hime, Saya Ida, and Hanan. And I love Akira Kuragane with any of the Cosmic Angel girls because, you know, Aya and Sayaka, they're cutesy. They're going to do their cutesy stuff, but Akira's just like, no.
Yeah.
No, none of that.
Sayaka's not very cutesy.
She does her little, like, cute magical girl pose.
Well, I mean, it's, you know, she's a warrior.
She is a warrior, I agree, but she can be a cutesy warrior.
Okay. All right.
And it's Akira just feels like she fits. I don't know. She's just good with them. I love it. And Yuria with the Stars crew, I thought was really cool. I don't know why that just seemed right. And Yuria has shown a new like version of her gear with the shorter trunks also.
Yeah, Yuria seems to be like sort of stepping right in with a lot of things. Like,
yeah,
all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's like suddenly she has all this confidence that we didn't see from her right at first.
Yeah.
But she's just there. She's like, here I am. I'm Yuria.
I've just noticed that. I noticed that, you know, like if there's some bets in the ring, she's standing there too.
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
Yeah.
That's coming up. But this match ended with Stars getting the win with Saida's Lariat, which has been a trend lately.
It's been almost as strong as a small package.
Saida just lariating everyone for wins lately.
Lariato!
After that match, President Okada got in the ring and announced the Stardom Project 2025, which is going to be working with Golden Dream, which is a television show. And this is essentially their version of like tryouts. They're going to have people come to try to get into Stardom, and they're going to be filming it all for this Golden Dream television show, which is really cool.
Oh, absolutely.
I wish we could see it. Yeah. I would like to see it.
I'd say we'll see clips of it later.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But it's going to be cool to see what comes out of it, like what kind of girls we get.
Well, apparently, I think they have like a bunch of different kind of sports and things on that show. Yeah,
the show is about a lot of different things, but Stardom will be included on Golden Dream. After that announcement, we had Rana Yagami, Lady C, Tomoka Inaba, and Shiri taking on Momokogo, Koguma, Hazuki, and Mayu Iwatani. And this is yet another little prelude with Mayu and Shiri in the ring at the same time. And that was like the highlight of this match. Because we actually got like a good few minutes of Mayu versus Shiri.
We've been bitching about it. Finally, it happened. So
finally, they're in there together, and they gave us a nice little look into what's going to happen on April 27th.
They're gonna hurt each other.
I agree. I think so.
It's gonna be a great match.
It's gonna be insane. I'm so excited.
I can't even honestly tell you how good that match is gonna be.
And they're gonna have time, unlike January 4th, 2020.
Oh, you'll never let it go. You're never gonna let it go.
I'm never gonna let it go because that match was so good and they had no time at all.
Just enjoy the match we had.
But Stars came out of this match with the win. Hazuki picking up a pin with the Hazuki Straw, so that's fun. I love it when Hazuki gets wins because she's kind of been like just floating out there recently. Her and Koguma are the Oz Academy tag team champions, so they've been going over there quite a bit to defend those. So Hazuki's just kind of been there recently, but she gets a little win here, which is nice.
And congratulations to Oz Academy for your belt design.
Oh, their belts are so pretty. After that, we had the Future of Stardom title match. Hina defending against CMLL's Tabata.
Yeah, this one, I was very excited for this match.
Yes,
as you know.
Exactly.
And it kind of...
It was okay. It was a fair match.
It was fine, but I'm full and I'll eat later.
Right. Yes. The polite way to say it.
Yeah.
It's like it's good, but I'm full.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
They did seem to struggle a little bit, like right out of the gate.
Chemistry wasn't there.
They struggled to meld together very well. It was kind of clumsy, but they brought it together by the end, and they got a few little good things here and there. But it wasn't like Rina caliber Future of Stardom title match.
And I think Tabata has, incredible upside. Hina has done so well.
Yes.
But again, like you just said, the Rina matches, they could put Rina in there against a baboon they just found. I don't know why I said it so bad.
A baboon who just found its way into a wrestling ring is what you were going to say.
They could grab a baboon. Holy crap. But you know what I mean? It could just be, it could be anything, anybody.
Yeah.
It's just okay. We just met this girl named Twizzler. She was, I think she's
always wanted to be a
I think she's on something, but okay, fine. And it'd be a good 4-star classic.
Right,
kinda.
right.
I won't say 5, but it was, Rina had that ability. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's the heel versus baby thing.
I think Rina really set expectations high because it is the Future of Stardom Championship. It's meant to be for younger and just starting out wrestlers. So I think this match was more the caliber they were thinking that this belt would bring. But because of the way Rina handled it, now Future of Stardom title matches are on big shows.
Yeah.
So you have to show up and deliver. You can't just fumble around.
Yeah, I agree. And again, it's probably just this one night, one time, because I've not seen them have any chemistry issues other times.
Right,
so.
like in the Cinderella, their match was really good.
Yeah.
It was shorter, I think. But they got the job done. And
again,
Hina is still the Future of Stardom champion.
And Tabata still wore a different gear.
Yes, which is wild.
On Tabata,
where did she keep it all?
On Tabata Gear Watch.
How many suitcases did she bring?
She brought a boat.
She just sailed herself over.
Tabata Gear Watch. 100%. She has been in a different piece every time we've seen her.
Every single time. Yeah. But I think the most exciting part about this match was what happened after. Because we had a new challenger for the Future of Stardom Championship. And not only for the belt, but for the belt at Grand Queendom.
Yes, your girl.
Rana Yagami will be getting her chance to become the Future of Stardom champion. Thank God it's happening. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I'm gonna be rooting for Rana to win the belt.
I know.
Can you imagine her with the Future of Stardom championship?
I think she'll take it very serious, and she'll, I think you would have to pry it out of her cold dead hands.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yes. And Hina, of course, was very nice. She was like, either way, God's Eye wins. It's like, yeah, okay. You just wait till we get in the ring.
Poor Hina.
She's very nice. I love her.
She is. She's nice, educated. She's everything.
I love Hina, but Rana Yagami is just special, okay?
You know what?
She deserves it.
I think you're special.
I am, but that's beside the point.
You like the
I have a type, okay?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Hina is one of my types.
And I have a type too, and that's why I'm rooting for Hina in this match. You can have your Rana, your wildling.
Yeah, okay.
You're
okay.
north
We'll see if you're rooting for Hina when the match starts.
You'll take your north of the wall girl. I'm going to stay down here with the southern girls in the capital.
We're back on Game of Thrones
We're back on Game of Thrones.
The wildlings seem like fun. I don't care.
You see, that's a problem. That's a problem. You know nothing, Raja Snow.
Listen, Rana has absolutely upped her game recently, and her matches are incredible.
They are.
When she got a singles chance against Koguma and Korakuen Hall, she freaking delivered.
This will be an incredible loss. It'll be very well worked.
She could take that belt to new heights.
She can take Hina to new heights by giving her an incredible defense. That's what's going to happen.
We're not going to see eye to eye on this.
You're going to be wearing a Hina shirt when it's over.
Not over my Rana Yagami shirt.
Well,
I wish I had one.
We'll see about that.
I'm going to write it on a piece of paper and stick it to
they
my
don't make
shirt.
shirts for people who don't have belts.
Okay, let's just move on because the next match was very important and I don't want it to get overshadowed by our rowdiness.
Don't you stack your papers with me. Don't you stack your papers. I heard it. You might be.
You're sitting right across from me. You can see it. Oh my god. Okay. So, as we know, Mina Shirakawa is leaving Stardom.
Yes, we've heard.
She's no longer a Stardom contracted wrestler. And she specifically asked to face Micah in a singles match at Korakuen Hall. So that's what the next match was.
Oh my god, the
Mina
gifts.
Shirakawa versus Micah. And I love how sweet they were when they first came out, and they were just sort of smiling at each other across the ring, and they both wore their old gear, like original EXV them gear in this match, which I thought was a nice touch. But the match did go off the rails a little bit. Just a little. We talked last week, you mentioned that quote from Micah about being sad about never being able to touch Mina Shirakawa's boobs again when she leaves.
I think she said grab them boobs again.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was touch.
I don't know. It was something about hand on boobs.
She got it in this match to make sure that she was fulfilled before Mina left.
Yeah, to a sold out Korakuen.
There was a lot of boob grabbing in the early part of this match.
There really was. I thought Megaton was in the ring.
Thankfully, it wasn't like egregious through the whole match, but the early part there was a lot of boob grabbing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't Great O'Con.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't dirty, like crazy, like uncomfortable.
I'm sorry, I broke the rule.
It was silly. Yes, you're not supposed to mention that, but given Suzu's recent attitude, I think it's probably okay.
Okay.
No,
Yes,
just kidding.
but
I'm just kidding. I'm not condoning that.
No, they had fun.
They did have fun. There was a great move in this match where Micah pulled Mina over the ropes to the apron to do a brainbuster, and I was like, holy crap, what was that?
Yeah, no, that was not something you're expecting. That's like a Julia move.
Oh god, then they stand up to trade forearms, and Mina's like on the verge of tears.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
Because they're having this match, and she knows that it might be the last time they face in a singles match. You don't know how things will work between...
was a bunch of I'm sorry, I love you through that match.
Japan and America.
Yeah.
Mina did kick out of the Michinoku Driver 2, followed by a running powerbomb, followed by another Michinoku Driver 2. She managed to kick out of that. So when Micah picked her back up, she did the hammer lock, locked her arm behind her back, pulled her in, gave her a hug, which is just a moment that's burned in my brain forever. And then Michinoku Drivered her again to get the pin.
I thought the subtle hug at the end that you're talking about was the best moment.
It was.
That was the moment.
That's the moment that broke us, I think.
Yeah, because that was not a moment that was overly done. It wasn't really done for the crew or the crowd.
It wasn't overly obvious hug.
It felt like it was for them.
Yeah.
And that meant the most, yeah.
Yeah, it was really sweet. And I'm just glad they got to have this match. Obviously, Mina's going to chase her dreams, so that's a very happy occasion. But her and Micah are very close, so having this match was probably very cathartic for them.
It's funny that the match itself turned out to be what you would consider an all-time classic match. It had all the ingredients.
Yeah.
Everything was put in the pot. We got premium beef, we got premium ingredients. I mean, freshly picked from the the fields and from the trees and all this stuff. Unicorn blood, everything we need to make this thing magical. But it never felt like I was watching that level of match. Everything was perfect and wonderful.
Yeah.
And it was just like the emotions overshadowed.
Right. It was more about these two people who love each other having their last match together than the match itself.
Exactly.
Like, it was more about the emotional weight of it.
I think normally we're wondering about the gravity of what the match result will be for coming up, right?
Yes. But that didn't matter here.
Yeah, this didn't matter.
It just mattered that they were able to have the match.
Yeah, they could have played Tiddlywinks and it would have felt the same to me.
Absolutely. And following that, we had a little 8-man. Miyu Mamasaki.
It wasn't like a
not like little.
It wasn't like a diminutive size match. Or anything.
No. That was just me trying to be cutesy.
Is that how you say midget?
About I think they just prefer midget.
Okay.
Honestly.
All right.
Miyu Mamasaki, Suzu Suzuki, Mei Seira, and Azumi versus Ruaka, Azusa Inaba, Natsuko Tora, and Saya Kamitani. And this match comes on the heels of the supposed makeup of Suzu Suzuki and Mei Seira, where Suzu was like, we're friends, everything's fine. Neo Genesis is fine. we're not fighting. I don't know what you guys are talking about. And Suzu seemed uncomfortable, but then May seemed uncomfortable.
We were very scared about this going in.
And May was like, I think we should go for the goddess belts again. Like that, all that happened right before this match.
Yeah,
like
we were
at the
very,
last show.
we were very troubled with all this.
And we had good right to be.
Yeah.
Okay, because the match before doesn't really matter. It was a normal hate match. They did their normal stuff. It was a fine match. Like nothing amazing happened or anything. But the story started to unfold when May accidentally hit Suzu again. And then Suzu was offered a chair by Natsuko Tora. And she did take that chair. And she did hit May Sayra with it.
Yeah.
And then it seemed like they were working together. We were like, okay, yeah, Suzu's going to hate. This is what's happening. But when Natsuko Tora offered her hand out to Suzu Suzuki, she refused and began to beat up hate. Like, she's just going after both teams now. And it was like, okay, what? She's just going Wild West, I guess?
Yeah.
She's just going on her own way. So this match was ruled a no contest because of all this craziness that happened. And May is distraught, obviously. And Suzu gets on the mic. She's, like, being snarky, talking about how she is done with everybody. She said, thank you, best friend, to May Sayra, and before she left, because she's cruel, I guess. And, you know, May was like, what kind of best friend does this kind of thing? And she was very sad, and the rest of Neo Genesis had to cart her out. So now we have the climax of the story that we have been waiting to pan out for the last couple of months?
Yeah.
Weeks?
I don't know. It's been weeks. Weeks. Suzu Suzuki has not felt like she belonged in a long time. So I agree with that.
Yeah.
She never feels like she
didn't feel like Neo Genesis.
She doesn't feel like Neo Genesis.
It was just the age thing that made them all similar.
Yeah. And I think she was May's friend. She was I've got a friend that can come along. Mm-hmm. She's also 22.
Right,
you
yeah.
know? And whenever you're just the friend that comes along, you know, Suzu Suzuki is damaged goods, man. She has been through emotional wrecks with Julia. I mean, she had to wake up at the training gym, and Julia was gone without even a fuck off. I mean, she was just gone.
Right.
And then we know about the story, you know, that drove her into the hardcore, into the death matches, you know, into all the prominence. And then when they made their debut in Stardom, you know, that was the big emotional thing it's always been about an emotional ride for Suzu Suzuki.
Right.
We've chronicled it, even her early life and things, you know, so she's always had this thing where if you're going to have trust issues, a lot of times you're going to be the one that acts out first.
Yeah.
And it's almost a defense mechanism. So here she is with not just a group, but she's with like this group that is absolutely eclipsing everyone and winning all these belts, and everybody loves them. And it's kind of like you look over after being the bad chick with the motorcycle and you're with all the fucking cheerleaders.
Right. I mean, everyone in Neo Genesis besides her has a belt.
Yeah. And it starts feeling like, I don't know if I belong here.
Why am I here?
How long is it going to be till they
Kick me out?
Look at me as a threat?
Right.
And somehow get rid of me. I think that, you know, that has to weigh on someone. She is not with her people. She is not with her kind.
No.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what she needs.
Right.
But
she seems to have an idea of where she's going, what she's doing, but nobody else does.
I'm very bloody interested to see what it is that she needs.
Yeah.
And where does she go? I've seen weird hashtags with Dragon Gate. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, I don't know, but she did talk to Tokyo Sports in an interview and talked about how she never really felt like she fit in Neo Genesis, how she was kind of forcing like the dancing when they were coming out and stuff like that. You could kind of tell that she wasn't really into it when they would do that sort of thing. But she talked about specifically the moment when she and May made up, and then immediately Azumi challenged Starlight Kid for the white belt, and she was like, these people only care about themselves and I don't want to be a part of that. So she's decided to go off on her own, and she even said that she thinks it's funny that people call hate evil because they exude kindness, in her opinion. So she has decided that she's going to change the way that pro wrestling is perceived and do things her own way, which is good. How?
Well, there's been a lot of people for many years believe they're going to change the way it's perceived.
Yes.
And all that ever happens is we change the way that you're perceived.
Yeah.
So
it's weird, and it's even weirder is the way that they've booked Suzu moving forward. At least the shows that have been announced, she's either teamed with the unaffiliated Young Lions or she's by herself. So they're not like normally when someone leaves a faction, they'll be teaming with every faction, essentially, like everyone throughout the whole company. But with Suzu, it's like she doesn't want to be with anybody. She just wants to be on her own. Yeah.
Well, pro wrestling's for everyone. And, so like we were talking about the first of the show, there's a, hey, if you don't like this, there's this, they're more specialized in this, but the discipline. And that's the case. That's the case everywhere. I don't know what she wants. I'm not sure she knows. So
do you think she's going to attempt to bring a sort of like deathmatch attitude to Stardom, or make her own faction that's actually evil in her opinion?
I don't think that. It feels like I don't know. I hope not.
I don't know if it's going to be evil so much as like she's been doing a lot of talking about actually fighting. Like she's like, what you're doing is not like real fighting, and that's what I do is I fight. So I think she just feels like,
well, then she should just go fight.
Nobody's taking her seriously.
Because they're going to take her less serious doing that.
I don't know. I think she's lost her marbles.
Yeah.
And she just gave up the best friend that she's had since she joined Stardom because she and Mei Seira formed that friendship when they were both unaffiliated.
So it's the defense mechanism that everybody uses. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing. Mm-hmm. And so many, in especially in Japanese wrestling, is shit on whatever the other person's doing.
Yeah.
Shit on where they're at. Shit on everything they do there, or the dancing, or this or that. When that's always been the thing, right?
Yeah.
And so it is what it is. We'll see what happens and where
only
she
time
goes
will
with
tell.
it. I wish her the best, and hopefully she figures it out, character wise, obviously. Mm. And we'll see what happens.
Yes, but the main event of this show was Tam Nakano versus Saori Ano. And after a very emotional match with Mina and then this whole Suzu thing, it's like, what are we going to do here? And the answer was, beat the tar out of each other.
Yes.
Like, I have seen in Stardom some matches where people go ham on each other. Natsupoi in particular comes to mind.
Yeah.
But these two, in this match, I think they just decided no holds barred. Like, I don't know what was said.
It was nuts, man.
But they beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah,
the hits were insane.
It was beautiful violence.
It was just a lot. And it was a great match. They really pulled out all the stops, but the striking was really what sold it.
Oh, it was next level.
More than anything. It was so nasty.
My God.
It was so gross.
Just the sounds.
Yeah. There was one time when Saori kicked Tam in the face, like just straight in the face.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what is happening right now?
But to be fair, that was after a whiff.
That's true. She missed and then kicked Tam in the face.
Yeah. Anytime somebody whiffs someone, you watch out.
Yeah, because they're going to try to make up for it in one way or another.
So it was. I loved it, man. It
was so good.
I love the violence in that, and I
really keeps your attention in the main event after all the things that have happened.
Oh yeah, because it demands your attention.
Yeah, like you can't look away. It's like a car crash.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was again, it harkened back to some of those incredible Julia main events.
Yeah, it's that kind of violence with Tam Nakano. But Tam did get the win in this match with the Twilight Dream, and then we had a familiar face show up. One, Unagi Sayaka inserted herself back into the Stardom ring, and her reasoning for being able to return, in her mind, was Tam was the one who banned her from Stardom through their match. Now Tam is a freelancer, so that decision no longer holds any weight.
Hey, man.
Essentially.
It's about as sound as logic as anything else I've heard lately. So
that's fair. But the reason Unagi came back was because she wanted to properly graduate from Cosmic Angels. She's seen that Mina was leaving and how that's being treated, and she's like, I want my proper goodbye from Cosmic Angels that I never got. So we're gonna have a match where I graduate from Cosmic Angels.
Yes, and she
just forced herself.
Yeah, she did just
forced
that.
it on Tam.
So I like seeing her back. I mean, it's fun having her around with her size and her ability. So it's always, and she's so snarky.
I know, she's so mean.
She's just such an ass, and I love it.
It's great.
I do love it.
But Then next show that just happened on April 6th in Anjo, which is Tam Nakano's hometown.
Wasn't expecting this.
Oh, for the first half of the card, you don't really expect it because it's just like a normal house show.
Right.
Like, not a lot happened through the first half of this card, and then it just all went crazy all at once. But we did open this show with Yuria Hime, Akira Kuragane, and Suzu Suzuki versus Lady C, Hina, and Shiri, with the God's Eye team picking up the win with Hina's jackhammer. So, little God's Eye versus Suzu and the young girls who, I don't know, I guess she's growing an affinity for now. She's like, she did call them cool, I don't know, but she did also say she wanted to fight them. So, it's hard to say what's going on. We had another three-way Ane Kanaya versus Fukigen Death versus Mei Seira. And this was, I mean, it was a three-way with Fukigen Death in it.
Right.
She won with the O'Connor roll.
Right.
But we got to see a little Mei Seira action, which is always a good time.
Anytime I could see the ace.
Yes, the ace of Stardom in our mind.
Yeah, she is up there, man. I'm telling you.
She's just so good.
Azumi, Mei Seira, Hazuki, Starlat, Hanan.
Yes. A lot of aces in Stardom.
And of course, the freaking God tier.
Yes, the God tier's different.
Yeah.
they're on another level entirely.
You've got the Tam, Mayu, Itani,
the Shiri, they're all up there.
Yeah, that really is on a different level. It's like
you don't even think about them as aces because they're just gods.
Yeah,
fine.
no, they've
sealed their Natsupoi's up there.
Yeah.
They've just sealed their fate in Stardom.
Absolutely. God dang it, we're stacked.
We are. Stardom is
stacked.
Ruaka, Azusa Inaba, Rina, and Natsukatora took on Momo Kogo, Hanan, Koguma, and Hazuki next. And surprisingly, Stars picking up the win in this 8-man with the Hanan special.
Yeah.
So that was really cool to see Stars get a little win over Hate.
Yeah, man, it was pretty crazy.
It was.
And not the craziest win that we're going to see.
No, not even close. After that, we had Tomoka Inaba and Rani Yagami. A little reunion of the tag team taking on Saya Ida and Mayu Iwatani.
So we love the tag team, but Rana, I know you're listening. Love you very much. Glad I supported you for the upcoming match with Hina.
Yes, you were very supportive.
But where the geese?
Yes, if Tomoka and Rana are going to tag and be Tomoka and Rana, or Inaba and Yagami, I can't remember which one it was, they need to wear the geese out.
Absolutely.
And because it just seals the deal with the tag team.
But I did love their new thing they did. The back-to-back deal with the katas.
That was really cool.
Yeah, they did the katas and they look at the camera, look better in the geese.
Yes, I'd like to see them in matching gear, honestly. Yeah. Like, just go the whole 9 miles with the tag team.
Crush Gals.
They do feel very Crush Gals.
They're very Crush Gals to me. If they sing and dance.
I don't know if they would. I mean, I know Rana plays like every instrument known to man, but I don't know about singing and dancing.
Well, Tomoka can do that. All right.
It was a really fun match though, because having Mayu in there, I mean, Mayu just has fun on these matches when she's like, there's not big stakes.
Fun is another word for I am not going to take a bump. So
she's just enjoying herself.
Mayu Iwatani has gotten to that level of Naito, where it's like basically she's wearing the LIJ shirt and she's just going to lay in the corner. Yeah. She doesn't take. I mean, she might take a bump.
It's like if it's on the lower half of the card.
Yeah.
No.
It's just like
not happening.
I'm gonna come out to the music. It's like Mayu Iwatani, Mayu Iwatani, Mayu Iwatani, Mayu Iwatani, and I'm gonna
throw the wristband.
Throw the wristband out to the crowd.
I might do a super kick and a drop kick.
Yeah, maybe an opening spot.
Yeah,
and then
it's all up to you guys.
I'm gonna chase someone around the ring. And that's it.
Speaking of shirts, though, Natsukatora been doing this thing where she's been wearing like a sleeves cut off hate shirt in her matches, which I just love. Yeah. It's just a cool aesthetic. But I'll give you one guess how this match with Saida and it ended.
Lariat?
It was a lariat from Saida to win the match.
Yes, the lariato is getting over.
But that brings us into the final 3 matches of the night, beginning with what can only be described as a joyous, wonderful moment.
I would like to find out if there was a meteor or something. Like right before the 3 matches, the final 3 matches, was there a SpaceX launch and everybody's seen like a weird whirlpool in the sky or anything?
I'm not sure, but something magical happened.
Okay, go ahead.
We were transported into this world of just joy.
Yeah, go ahead.
This next match is Mina's final match as a Stardom contracted wrestler in Japan. And it's traditional to face your friends, you know, your faction as you're on the way out. So this was a 1 versus 4 match where Mina would have 3-minute matches against Maika, Rion, Waka Tsukiyama, and Hanako in that order. And it started off with Maika, and when their match started, Maika got the mic and essentially said, this is only 3 minutes. I got everything I needed to get out at Korakuen Hall. Why don't we have some pictures? So they went around the ring and did poses so that everyone could take pictures of them together. They did a few moves there at the end, like the last minute, they went after each other. And then Rion came in and they had a little match. And then Waka came in and they had their little match. And then Hanako rounded it out with their match. And it was all very emotional. And Mina was like fighting tears the entire time. Then they all got back in the ring, and Mina was going to give her little speech, her farewell speech. And when she's in the middle of that speech, Saya Ito's music hit. So Saya runs out, and she gets in the ring, and she's like, I'm not done with expressing my feelings to you, Mina Shirakawa. I want to fight you. So they do a 1-minute match. And Mina's like, she's like, okay, cool. Let's do it. And then after that match, Azumi's music hits.
Yeah.
She comes out. They do the same thing, 1-minute match. And then Hanen's music hits. And she comes out.
Hanen's was the best.
Starts dancing in the ring. She comes out and starts dancing.
Hanen starts dancing like
she does the Mina
sexy
dance.
Dynamite Princess.
It was very sexy Dynamite Princess.
Yeah.
Weird how that, like, I wonder if they know each other, if she and SDP have a relationship.
These vibes of that one night that Sexy Dynamite Princess looked different. I was like, oh my God.
It was very funny. But as soon as Hanen's match was over, she got on the mic and she was like, I don't think everyone here is done expressing their feelings to Mina. So is there anyone else that would like to do that? Why don't you come on down? And like the entire roster comes to the ring. They put Mina in the corner. They're all running at her, doing their thing.
Yeah.
Some of them hit her as hard as they possibly can. Some of them stop in front of her and like do a pose. Unagi gave her a hug.
Right.
It was all their little flavor. And then they decided to do one final 5-minute match, which started off with Mina throwing forearms at everyone around her, and then they took out their moves on her, and literally everyone got back in the ring to cover Mina for a final 3 count, which she kicked out of at 2.
Yes.
And then the bell rang, and that was Mina Shirakawa's final match, or so it seemed, because she got on the mic and called out Tam Nakano.
Yes.
She's like, we're here in Anjo. I've never beat Tam Nakano before, so I want Tam to come out here and face me. So she had one final 3-minute match with Tam Nakano, her old friend.
Which they took more serious than the other matches.
The person who brought her in to Stardom, and the person she was with for a long time in Cosmic Angels, and they've had a lot of emotional turmoil over the years, and it was just nice to see them have this match. They did take it very seriously. It was just like a proper match, but only in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And when the bell rang, they hugged on the ground. They did their little pinky promise, and it was very sweet. And, it was all it was very Stardom.
Yes, it was. It was very Stardom. It was very awesome, very wonderful, very memorable.
Yeah.
I'll give my clap for everybody there, the roster, Mina Shirakawa, in your future endeavors.
I love the way that they send people off. It's like they don't just drop you off of TV if you're gone. It's like, we're going to let you do your final matches, and then we're gonna send you off happy.
They don't pretend people don't exist.
Yeah, it's very sweet.
Yeah,
and you can tell all the girls are like a big family.
Oh yeah.
So when one of them leaves, it's like saying goodbye to a sister.
Oh yeah.
And they all got emotional. Of course they did. But Mina, she thanked Stardom and everything for all the years that she's been there. But she's off to America now to chase her dreams, and we wish nothing but the best for Mina Shirakawa and AEW.
Yes.
She's going to do great things.
# we want Mina.
But after that match, we did have intermission following that match, which I think was a good idea, because that was a lot. Like, it lasted for 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Easy 30.
Easy 30 minutes.
Yeah.
This went on. So it was very drawn out, and like the crowd was on it the whole time.
Long-ass house show.
It was wonderful. But when they came back from intermission, we had Miyu Amasaki and Azumi versus Konami and Saya Kamatani.
Which was abbreviated. I think.
It was, and it started very strange because Izumi's music hit, but before we even saw her, people were like looking to the side, like Duke's yelling from the ring.
I think they did that because we went so long on the Mina thing.
Yeah.
Because if you take off the entrances on Stardom, you lose an hour of the show.
Yeah, the entrances are really long.
Yeah.
For good reason. They're amazing. Yeah. But the Hate team attacked Izumi and Miyu on the way out. I don't think it was even on the way out. It was like straight from the back. They pulled them out into the crowd. Saya had Miyu up in the top stands of the arena. They brought them to ringside after doing the chair throws, started throwing volleyballs at them. I think they were just trying to get the crowd back up after that emotional dump from the last
volleyballs
match.
At Okada.
Oh god, they threw him at Okada, and like almost hit people in the crowd. They were just going crazy. Yeah. But the craziest part about this match, like the match was fine. The match was good, but the craziest part was how it ended.
Oh god.
Because I don't even know what to think about this. An Izumi Sushi from Izumi on Saya Kamitani.
Yes.
The World of Stardom champion.
Right.
A pin from Izumi on Saya Kamitani.
So Izumi gets the pin in Stardom.
What?
Obviously, you get a title shot when that happens.
I'm so confused.
And she already has a white belt title shot coming up.
She does.
And we're only minutes away from the big match with
Saya and Tam.
Saya and Tam.
And Saya took a loss?
Yeah.
To Izumi?
Yeah.
What? And Saya, seemed totally out of it. Like, she didn't do anything after. She just rolled out of the ring and left. Like, I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, Izumi had said in an interview a few weeks back, she's like, I'm going to be greedy this year.
Yeah.
It's my time.
Yeah.
She's got a potential match with Mercedes coming up because if she wins at, the next New Japan show this weekend, she'll get the title shot. Like we talked about at Resurgence. Yeah. So there's a potential for a belt collector.
Izumi's just out there like, I want every belt. Yeah. Every single one that I can get my hands on. And she's going for it. She got a pin over the World of Stardom champion.
She did.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy, okay?
It really is.
It's crazy. But that was the most surprising thing that happened to me.
No, I mean, the timing on it's crazy too. I mean, Saya Kamitani's a hard out no matter what.
Yeah.
Good, bad, no matter what. She's a hard out. And just to get the roll and get that pin is, dude.
It's weird. It's weird in a I don't know what's going to happen next kind of way, which I like. I like it. But the main event of this evening in Anjo, of course, featured the hometown girl herself when Aya Sakura, Sayaka Kurara, and Yuna Mizumori took on Unagi Sayaka, Sariano, and Tam Nakano in a Cosmic Angels versus Cosmic Angels match. And this was, of course, as we mentioned, Unagi Sayaka's graduation from Cosmic Angels. And I think the young girls really tried to come in here and prove themselves. Like, they were not here just for a fun little match. Like, they were here to make sure that the older heads of Cosmic Angels knew that they were serious about winning this match.
Yeah, it was a really big deal. And I know it was a big deal to Kurara.
Yes, she started.
She talked about, some of it in some of her comments afterwards, and how just being in the match with Unagi, that she had felt that she had taken Unagi's place.
That makes total sense.
And that it was a big deal for her, even though she lost.
Yeah.
That it was a big deal for her to be up there.
Right, yeah. And she did volunteer to start the match against Tam because she loves Tam and she just wants to fight her as well, I think.
Yeah.
But it was a really good match. And after the fact, after Tam won the match using a nasty looking Violet Screwdriver, she's just put a lot more gusto on that move lately. Like every time we see it, it's like someone's going to die.
It's the FAFO driver right now.
After that, we had a nice moment where Tam and Unagi called Mina out to the ring. Of course, these three being the founding members of Cosmic Angels. They did the original Cosmic Angels dance together. It was so funny. At first, it seemed like they maybe wouldn't remember the dance as they were kind of looking at each other, but then they all just did it perfectly. Like they never missed a day.
It was amazing, dude. I mean, I'm a big fan of the dance numbers anyway. So
I know, me too. All the singing and dancing in Joshi is some of the best stuff. But this will be Unagi's graduation from Cosmic Angels officially. And I don't know if we'll see her in Stardom again, when we'll see her in Stardom again, but it's nice to have her around when she's there.
Yeah, no, I enjoy her, and I wouldn't be opposed to it at all.
No, me either. So we ended the show with Tam thanking everyone for coming. She did her little Cosmic Angels outro there and in her hometown, and she promised to come back to Anjo despite the fact that she might be retiring in a couple of weeks. I don't think she believes she's retiring, but Saya has kind of had her number recently. She's been terrorizing her.
Yes, it's been fun.
Outside of the ring.
It's been all the fun on social media. It's anybody with a feed that has anything to do with pro wrestling or Joshi has seen it, I'm sure, but restaurants or
talk shows,
they just getting, parks, and
Saya just shows up.
It's become a comical thing almost, like, that she's there everywhere she goes. So
it's very funny.
Yeah.
But Stardom does have 4 shows coming up this weekend. The 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th all have Stardom shows before they head to America for WrestleMania week next week. So make sure you look out for that on Stardom World. And there's never any, lack of Joshi to watch.
No,
Marigold's got stuff.
Not at all. There's some
Tokyo Joshi.
There's some really big stuff this weekend. There's I'm looking forward to the Marigold show.
Yes.
I think there might be some Marvelous or
the 10th. There's a Marvelous show,
okay.
the one with Takumi versus Meiko Satomura. So that's a definite watch. And then, of course, next week begins the craziness, and we'll probably have a show near the beginning of next week to talk about all of the shows. We might even be reviewing shows as they happen across WrestleMania week. We don't know yet.
Well, Mania week's going to be fun for us. I do believe we'll have a daily show through all the Mania stuff.
There's a lot of Joshi going on, so we got to keep up with it all.
I don't want anything to lose its specialness.
Yes.
So
we don't want to have to shove it all into one.
Listen, guys, we take vacation for this, so it's it's a big
WrestleMania week's vacation week.
It's holy ground for that week with all the indies and all the Joshi.
Even
stuff
if we can't be there live, we still want to watch everything. So you can't be working.
We'll be there next year. So
yes, we will. But make sure you're following us on all our socials at Cult of Joshi, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube, the Cult of Joshi YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, comment, let us know what you thought about all the happenings from Korakuen Hall, what you thought about the matches at Dynasty or Mina Shirakawa's final matches, and all that good stuff, and what you're looking forward to on WrestleMania week if you're going to be watching shows. Make sure that you follow us so that you can see all of our coverage of that week, because we will be here with just going crazy because we love it so much.
Tell your friends, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Tell your enemies, break into your neighbor's apartment and subscribe from their computers as well.
But for now, he's John. I'm Raja. So long from the Cult of Joshi.
Bye!